manufacturer is mapped to an inventory org.
You're actually right, Dilip. But here, yeah, like you said, they're not two orgs. It's only everything what you said is correct. You create one org and you model that org as a contract manufacturing org. So that's how it's defined in.
Yeah,
in
but then
setup.
the org where you're going to receive it, the requesting business has an inventory org, a different inventory org, in which you're receiving this item, correct? In which the supply order was created. So that's your original.
No, so the supply order is, so basically supply, what SEO does is, it sees that this order needs to be created at a contract manufacturing org. It directly creates the work order in the contract manufacturing org.
Yes,
and the contract manufacturer.
But the requirement is for which inventory org in the requesting org? On the left hand side, the one that creating the supply order is to be received where? It has to be received in a particular inventory org. And then it says, okay, let's take the vision case. Let's say 001 was your inventory org, which creates a supply order. The supply order has to have an inventory org, right? Where you want the supply to be received. I want the contract manufacturer to deliver to my 001 sub inventory, correct? And then you model another contract manufacturing org to a supplier and say it is called 005. And the contract manufacturer that inventory of 005 belongs to the contract manufacturer. And then the work order and the PO, all that is created for 005. Okay. So that's how it will work. I'm thinking, you don't think this has changed very much from EBS, and that's how it is in EBS. That's the reason I'm saying that. Not that I know Fusion, I don't know Fusion, but I'm saying that this is how it is in EBS, and it seems to be modeled the same way. Yeah.
Yes, it's modeled the same way. So, and in case of the sales orders flow, the contract manufacturing has the sales order details that it can directly ship to. And in the planning's case, yes, it against that PO, it creates the ASN to have your inventory to the right org.
Right. So it's right. So to some extent, it's like you're interested. Okay, fine.
Dilip, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
I think let me just recap my understanding. Please correct me if I am wrong.
Okay.
I think as Deepti was telling, there is only one org that is called contract manufacturing.
No, there has to be one org which is the requesting org.
Correct. So requesting org creates a sales order. Am I right?
The sales order will be seen in the manufacturing.
And the supply warehouse will be contract manufacturing org.
For the contract, yes. Contract manufacturer will see the sales order.
Correct. So sales order is in an operating unit, a business unit, whatever you call.
Yeah.
And supplier org is a contract manufacturing org. So the sales order will create a work order in the supplier manufacturing org.
Right.
The contract manufacturing org.
Yeah.
And also it creates POs for the material.
Right.
These items.
Right.
And it receives them in the contract manufacturing org. And also it creates work order to execute the work order in the contract manufacturer.
Right.
Which the contract manufacturer will have access to.
Right.
And that will be executed and shipped from that org to the customer.
Right. Correct. Okay. So yeah, this is a little complicated to cover in 5-10 minutes, but we did try to put forward the overall thing. There may be details which we will have to understand more. I have also not implemented this module in EBS, but I did study it at one time because I was looking at a potential client. So I did gather that much. So that's how it is, I think.
Yes, the rare requirement. Some requirements
Sorry, can't hear you. Really.
Not too much application. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on because this is a complicated topic. We can only understand some basics, not too much detail.
Sure.
But I want to ask you one thing, Deepti, before we move on. Is there any specific setups for this contract management? Item wise or org is one, I think you just mentioned. There should be an org called contract manufacturing org. Is it there will be an org type?
Yes, so contract manufacturing actually has a lot of setups. So in the manufacturing org, you have a checkbox which you define that this is a contract manufacturing org. So basically first you define your contract manufacturing org. You also create a supplier because that contract manufacturing org is also modeled as a supplier. So you create a supplier, you create the supplier site. You have an agreement in place because the agreement, when you create like a purchase requisition, you want it to auto create into a purchase order, else you'll have to manually go and create the purchase order. So in Oracle's recommended implementation, you mandatorily need to have a blanket purchase agreement. From the item standpoint, you enable on the item that it is a contract manufacturing item, and you create the service item. And in the work definition also, you have to associate the service item in the work definition in a certain way for it to implement the contract manufacturing. So there are org setups, there are supplier setups, and at the item level setup.
What is the kind of work order you are going to create? Is it a standard work order or is it?
It is a standard work order.
In the doc.
Yes.
So item attribute called, there is an item attribute called contract manufacturing item?
Yeah, there's a contract manufacturing finished good and there's a contract manufacturing service item. So there are two components that you enable in either of your item.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be build in WIP and make enabled. Those are all like the common attributes, but yeah, from contract manufacturing point of view, this is what it has to have. So the system SEO, that's what it looks into. It looks into that, yes, this item is a contract manufacturing and the sourcing rule is against the contract manufacturing org. The org should have a supplier associated. So when you set up the org itself, you associate the supplier. So that org is modeled as a supplier. You know, that's what that setup is called, where you model that org as a supplier so that you can even place your purchase order. So all that again happens seamlessly, where the org can be called X, but your supplier can be called abc.corp. So the purchase order is placed on abc.corp, but it's being manufactured at the org named X. I will show you that setup when we do the organization setup, that how you model that org as a contract manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you that setup where it's done. We will not go into the whole flow.
So will the contractor resources or persons, users, will have access to this org from external system?
From external systems? No. So
from portal, I mean to say.
No,
yes.
I don't think so. Mm-hmm.
Like you, because you're defining this org in the manufacturing cloud, you are viewing the regular updates from this cloud, from this org. So what is being completed, and it sends you basically regular updates.
So is
yeah, the supplier portal will be available to the supplier, yeah.
That's what I was asking. Correct.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay.
He can go ahead, I think he will have access from external in internet, and he can go and execute the work, right? Move the operations, issue the material, so that you get the updates and quality results.
Yeah, so most of these contract manufacturing work definitions are count point enabled. Outside processing, surely they are count point enabled, where it sends you then records all the transactions which are completed.
Okay.
Okay. So we will move to the next flow, if that's okay
Yeah,
with everyone.
can we take a quick break, 5 minutes, and then
Actually, what I was thinking is there's just one flow left, one business flow, and after that, before we get up into the setup, we could take our 1 hour break, If just you could stay on for 5 minutes, we'll just cover this slide so that we are at a logical end of the cross-functional business flows. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. So our last flow here in this business flows is the outside processing. So here outside processing is where one or more operations in your work definition or in your routing is outsourced to another vendor. So again, the origin is very same like how you have, or it could be a planning or it could be a sales order, but whatever, after the work order is created. So I'm starting here with the work order. So after the work order is created, based on when it executes the different operations in that work order, it sends the purchase to create the purchase request and the shipment request to the outside processing vendor. So that's when it creates the purchase order. Your outside vendor creates does his job, basically whatever is to be done in that operation. It could be some value addition, it could be a new product like building, and then it sends you back the item which you manufacture, complete the manufacturing process and receive it into your inventory and follow the flow. At the same time, from your org, you also send all the details to costing to have the items, resources, materials costed.
So outside processing, you outsource an operation, am I right?
Yes.
So you create a purchase order just for a particular operation.
Yes.
Then how do you supply the material for that operation? How do you ship the products?
There is a shipment request here where you place and you ship the goods. There's an ASN placed and you ship the goods.
Shipment request to send the in progress work order to the supplier?
Yes. Correct.
So
this actually, the diagram of this is a very complicated diagram which I just put it very simply, and I agree this simple representation is not really good enough, but just to give you a picture.
No, got it.
Yeah, no, this is like the regular EVS flow, so to that extent the same. But only question was the shipment request. That means that you can actually do a shipping transaction for that part, which is nothing EVS. You probably cannot do a shipping transaction for that. Is there a shipping transaction you can perform here?
So again, to be very honest, outside processing is one flow which I have not worked on. So I saw the documentation and I did see where the ASNs are being created and the shipment requests are being created. But this is one flow which I've never done it. This will again come only in release 13. I've implemented something in release 11. Release 11 had contract manufacturing, and we have done a very small implementation of contract manufacturing. But outside processing in release 13, in the first release of 13, you could just have like operations defined. You didn't have a lot of capabilities, but now you do have more capabilities. I have not personally used this. But in the process flow diagram from Oracle and the documentations, I see there's a shipping transaction, but the shipping transactions are seamless. You don't need a manual intervention and all that. They are shipping requests created, and if you have a scheduled job of picking, shipping, all that is the picking and shipping, of course, is manually done, but the shipping request is created in your shipping system, and whenever you are processing all the pick request or the shipping request in that org, it is shipped.
That will send the parts to send the incompleted, in progress item, right? Okay.
In progress item, that's correct.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Actually, this is your question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I think do we need to have a blanket agreement for this creation of a purchase order or a purchase order request and shipment request?
Yes, because SEO creates a purchase requisition, and with the help of a blanket purchase order, you auto convert that requisition to a purchase order. So in the recommendation from Oracle, Oracle's recommendation is you mandatorily have to create a blanket purchase agreement.
Blanket PO agreement need to be there. At what point of a time that this purchase order shipment request will be done? Do you know at what event it will get created? Is it that when an operation moves to that, or it creates when you are creating the work order or releases a work order? At what point of time all these two things will be generated? And what are the options?
At the operation. So with that operation, so suppose the third operation is a supplier operation. You execute operation 1, you execute operation 2, and when you move to third operation, you see that it is a supplier operation. That's when the purchase request is created.
So based on the completion of second operation, or as move material on the move?
Yeah, on the completion of second operation is what I recollect reading.
So now, I mean, it seems to be in general same as EBS.
Yes.
So maybe we have to, to understand that very fine point of yours, we will have to actually try it out or just. But
Actually,
it's not. We have to understand it's like generally similar to EBS. Maybe
Exactly. It's exactly the same thing as EBS.
Yeah. Even if there is some small difference, we will get to know when we go into more detail, and at that stage it won't be difficult because we have an overall understanding of the whole thing. Should be okay. We cannot grasp at this theory level.
Correct.
Let's
So
see.
are you going to cover your data flow for this, Deepti, for this scenario?
No, I'm not covering these business flows, like the complete flow we are not covering. We'll just look into key manufacturing hands-on training.
Yeah, OSP is the main thing. Is it possible to do this? Because typically people will ask for this.
OSP will be like, I mean, again, we cannot at least cover it now in this agenda that we have, because it requires a whole process in itself, right? We have to set up everything in the training instance and then demonstrate it.
Now basically we have to understand the overall, how the fusion works in general, and this then we have to understand it similar to EBS. Then it gives us the navigation and the flow, how to do it. If you just keep EBS in mind, once you have the basic tools of how to do it in cloud, then you can do it similarly as in EBS. You can do it similarly here.
Actually, as a recollecting, let me just explain. Maybe you can confirm if you have seen this, if somebody has done it. What will happen is, you have a blanket agreement, then upon moving from 20 to 30, let us say 30 operation is OSP. So the 30th operation OSP you define in, how do you define that 30th is OSP operation?
I'm sure it must be same as in EBS, right? You put in a resource, the resource that is set up for the OSP,
That's what I'm checking.
Here the operation type is defined as supplier. You have an operation type. We define that it's a supplier operation. That denotes that this is an outside processing operation.
So operation type is OSP for that item operation, right?
Correct.
In the item definition.
Right.
In the work definition, in your routing.
No, in the work definition.
Yeah, correct.
Yes. And of course, the item is also marked as outside processing, but yes, in the work definition, you define the operation type as supplier, and you give your supplier and supplier side details, and that's when it sends to that supplier.
Actually, not only you need both. You need an operation called item, and you need an operation called routing also. Is it the same?
Operation called routing? No, here it's just one operation, which is defined as type supplier, and that's when it understands that this is an external operation which is to be implemented by the.
Let me give this example. So, painting, let us say, okay, this is outside operation. I'm manufacturing it, somebody has to paint. So, painting is an operation, is a work definition I call operation as painting, then that is defined as a OSP, am I right?
So let's take these arrows as different operations. Okay, just imagine this is operation 1, this is operation 2, this is operation 3, which is the supplier operation of painting. So this operation can be defined like operation 30 painting. The type of this operation is defined as supplier, So it knows that this is an external action. So, and like I said, because I've not implemented, I'm not too on top right now, whether on reaching this operation, it ships the goods to the supplier, or after completing this, it does. But this is the external operation. It can be of type painting, but the operation type is supplier. It can be a painting operation of type supplier, which tells us it's an external
Got it.
operation.
But on FIFO, you need to have a blanket order for an item. So that's why the FIFO, you also need to have painting as an item, as defined as a OSP item, a buy item.
Yeah, well, like I said, because OSP I have not implemented.
Rao, there's no need to recap our EDS knowledge.
No,
Let us assume that whatever we know in EDS, and let's assume for the moment that this is running approximately similar. It may not be exactly similar, but it is running approximately similar to that with some differences. And we cannot get to know all of that,
I think the difference is only shipment request and ASN.
Yeah, shipment request seems to be a difference, and also a flag on the operation called supplier, which I don't see in EDS, but so that's about it. I mean.
No. It is also operation need to be defined, item need to be defined. Both. So same.
Yeah, same as EDS. Same as EDS.
Only another difference I'm asking how is at what point of the time the ASN gets created and the shipment request gets created. Do you know, or you will come back?
No, I let me note that as a question. At what point ASN and shipment, right?
Yes.
At what?
And you have different configurations for it. Just that's it.
The ASN is for what? Shipping the parts to the supplier? Shipping to the supplier?
I think ASN could be for
both ways.
Or other way.
Should be the other way is what I think, but yeah, it could be both ways. I'll check and get back.
Well, the ASN functionality will remain what it is. I don't think that is being altered because it's an OSP case.
I think it's the other way, because ASNs are typically created by the suppliers.
Right.
And so after you create the purchase order with the supplier, when the supplier is sending you back the item on which he's worked, he's going to be creating the ASN.
Yeah, so let's assume the ASN functionality remains what it is. It's not altered because it's an OSP.
There is no functionality of ASN in R12 or our...
No, ASN functionality is available for anything that a supplier is asked to ship, right? The supplier is asked to deliver. So I suppose it's relevant for OSP as well.
Correct. What I could do is we'll check on this question and we can discuss in our further sessions about OSP. I see there's a lot of interest in how the OSP is functioning.
Just think that ASN to see events and shipment requests. Okay.
Okay.
In R12, we got the latest versions. We got the ability of creating manual shipment requests. That was actually
so
R12.2 or something.
That is exactly what I see as the difference between R12 and the cloud. So in the cloud, all that is very seamless, like especially when you create your purchase orders, when you create. So I think in R12, you keep jumping to the different applications to create and progress the flow. And then there are jobs to move the flow from one application to the other, like if you're moving from inventory to purchasing to somewhere else, there are certain jobs. Here, all that is an integrated flow.
By R12, you mean EBS? Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
In EBS, we have a manual shipment request that came up in the latest versions. Okay. So, just to record the shipments.
Okay. So then that is the same here then.
I think no. The way she's telling is automated from work order.
No, but shipment request is there. You still have to do the shipping, right? That's not going to do it for you.
That you cannot. You have to go to shipping.
Yeah, correct.
But in my opinion, I think maybe I don't know. I'm wondering if ASN and the shipment will be automatically created when you move the thing. That's what I was wondering. I was guessing. Okay. Can you please check that out?
Sure. So this brings us to most of our theoretical end to most of our theoretical concepts about cloud. We saw the overview, we saw the capabilities, and we saw the cross business function flows. Next, we will get into the prerequisites that are required for the manufacturing implementation. I'm calling them as the manufacturing setup itself because it's part of the implementation. What I would suggest is we take our break now. We could take 55 minutes from now. Is that okay for everyone?
Yeah, that's
Or do you want it?
Yeah.
We probably can do less also, right? But
Whatever the group decides, I'm totally available.
that we are with you, no problem. It's okay with me. How about others?
Yeah. I will take a break.
Okay.
no,
Is
but
55 minutes? Do you want to take a longer break, shorter break?
No, 55 is good. So we'll come back exactly at what time? Now it's 9:36 here.
So you come back at 10:30 your time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just, I had planned a 1 hour break. We spilled over by 5 minutes. So I'm just cutting it down to 55 minutes if it's okay with everyone.
sure.
Yeah. And
Okay.
about what kind of installations also? Is it SaaS, PaaS? How the impact of this setup is called? Are you going to cover that?
I didn't get the question.
There are different ways of implementing manufacturing or this modules, am I right? SaaS or PaaS model.
Okay, I'll give you an overview on that. What is SaaS? What is PaaS? I will.
How it impacts
Anyway,
this
let's
implementation?
start the break and continue.
Okay. Thank you.
Question after the break.
Sure. Okay, guys, I'll see you back at, you said 10:30 your time?
Yes, we'll keep this meeting like as you said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Deepthi, are you there?
Hey Rao, yes, I'm here.
Yeah. I think it will take some time for the other guys to come in. Hey, I'm asking, anyway, I think everybody's experienced it, so you're going fast. I mean, good. Anything you're covering up, please stop us, okay? Not to waste time. Stop us telling that I'm going to cover it later.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, I mean, if you want me to make it faster, slower, or you want to focus on certain areas, it's absolutely fine to call out. So our day 3 is kind of light. Deliberately I kept it light because, many times in our training we have spillovers. So especially with an experienced crowd, because there's a good set of discussions. So day 3 we have the amount of availability. Even if everything that I planned for day 1 I don't complete, I wouldn't be nervous because we have a good option to cover it in the time. And like you said, I do want to give you a good amount of time for hands-on practice. So, and however you like to model, though I'm very glad all you guys are very communicative and you're speaking up. So please continue doing that. Speak up. If you want me to go fast, slow, cover in detail, skip it, absolutely fine.
Yeah. And in fact, do you have an idea how many days they're going to give us access to the instance?
So what I heard is you have a 2-week access after the session. You get access in the instance for up to 2 weeks. That's what I know. And yeah, anything else you can talk to that, the training, you have the training at Apps2Fusion DL, the email. And anything you can drop them, they'll get back to you with all details.
Because we asked, there's no answer from that lady. So yesterday, Shekhar sent an email, copied me.
Okay. I've heard that you have access for up to 2 weeks. And the recording also, maybe I should ask them also and get back.
Recording session is available to us. That's what she told.
Yeah, so if it's already discussed, yeah, I'm sure you're more aware. I don't get into such details normally.
And the second thing is April 26th, there will be one more session on operations, Kanbans and the replenishments and all, right? That's what it's.
Yeah, so April, the next session, so these 3 days, we are focusing only on manufacturing, work orders, and that day, we were asked to merge it into one day, costing and quality and the inventory. So all those 3 will be covered on that one day.
So that is the 4th day, right?
That is the 4th day, which will be like after a gap because I had some.
Yesterday there was back and forth on that with the lady, so it was agreed is 26th Sunday. I told
her. Yeah, I know. I was updated. I was trying to push it to later because I'm going to be returning from a long vacation, and I'll take time to get back and yeah. It's just that the May time is very typical of us taking some vacation, planning some vacations.
Okay, nice. So I don't know whether you're okay to disclose or not. Are you working for Oracle or any other company?
I don't work for Oracle, but yeah, I'm in the Oracle consultant. But yeah, I worked for Oracle earlier, and that's one reason why I did not get too much exposure to EBS, and I was developing the Oracle Cloud applications.
Okay. But you will have a lot of access to documentation. I also worked for Oracle for about 6 years.
I worked there for a decade, and most of it only into the cloud. So, so my EBS knowledge is not that great. I haven't used EBS at all.
But everything looks to be EBS only. Actually, all the flows what you showed. Almost.
Yes.
We are not seeing much gap actually. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Functionality is directly a lift and shift. Just that I've heard that some things are done differently, some things are very seamless, which was not in EBS. And like in EBS, what I heard is you have to individually jump to different applications. And here, most of these business flows are seamless. And again, that's what I heard. Because I've not used EBS, I can't create a direct comparison.
If you have any list of improvements in cloud versus Oracle, that are really valuable to us. Yeah.
Sure, I'll see if I can get something.
There's a slight break in your voice, I think. I don't know. due to the connection maybe.
Oh, is it only now or was it happening earlier too?
No, earlier was fine, only just now.
Okay, let me just try
Earlier has
to
been fine.
adjust. Okay, I just adjust my system a bit.
So 26 is what you're saying, the extra day?
Yeah, 26 is our day 4.
Okay, it's far away. And then we need to have access beyond that.
Yeah, and I'm really not sure till when you have access. I'm just told that after training you have up to 2 weeks, but because we have a gap of 1 week in between.
Then we get that much extra access. That's good.
Yeah, so just discuss with them. I'm sure they'll like have a firm date, not just that. I think the 2 weeks what they're telling you is the general deadline for.
No, actually, to me, it was, I was given 1 month. I was told 1 month.
Oh, 1 month was for something else. Wait, I forgot.
No, 1 month was the videos. 1 month was for the videos of the same program.
Correct. And 2 weeks for the instance access is what I heard, but then I can be wrong. I don't get into those details. Those are sensitive ones.
Can you check with her? Just send her that we are requesting because the last day of training is so and so day. We need to have access. Can you please communicate with her, please?
You're requesting that from me?
Yeah. Can you send a request on our behalf? Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that. Okay, do we have Basha also on the call?
Let me call him. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then if we have him, we can begin with our session.
But the amount of discussion we are going through, maybe your day 3 will be also, you will be engaged. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm planning a full schedule for day 3 also. It's just that I'm not active too much because based on how day 1, day 2 goes, and plus I want to give you more time for some hands-on. That's the reason I was asking that you just want a good overview and understand cloud, but you want to implement.
Yeah, I think we can go faster on the overview. At least personally, I feel that, but others may want something more. But I would like more time on the hands-on and actual application.
Yeah, actually, I was just telling Rao that the day 3, I had not planned it very intensive and very packed because anything spillovers from day 1, day 2, we have ample amount of time, is what I was telling him. So even if we don't cover the whole agenda and there's some topics spilling over from today's session, we'll still be good. We don't have to be nervous because day 3 is not like a packed 5 hours.
No, I am okay because, for instance, for me it's okay because I've done the supply chain course, but the others may be first time in Fusion, so for them navigation may be a bigger issue. How to get to a particular screen and some of the basic stuff of setups, they may be having more to learn in that and how to get going on that.
True. Navigation is going to take some time to absorb.
Right. So they will get some time getting used to it, but I am already okay on that front. It took me some time initially. It was a little painful initially for me also. But now I'm a little bit more comfortable in that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Maybe and then you guys can also help each other if you're stuck, especially during your hours when you don't see me available. That will be because initially it's the normal to get a doubt that hey, where do I go to this? You know. So you've done the foundation course. The supply chain is a foundation course.
Not foundation, just supply chain. But the supply chain started off with all the user setups of the users and all the airbag stuff and all that. Yeah. And also,
I was planning that now. Yeah.
Yeah. The SaaS, PaaS, all that stuff was also covered. Yeah.
Oh, okay. SaaS also there was a request. I thought I would just prepare a bit. Maybe I'll take it up tomorrow. Let's make it in my notes.
Yeah, I texted the Basha, but no response.
I think we need to stick to our timing though.
Yeah, I think we will start actually. We'll give 5 minutes time and we'll start. Yeah.
We already
And,
given.
another thing is, do you have the user guides, implementation guides, or any white papers on the implementation?
There should be available plenty of such stuff online. It's not that, I mean, I've not maintained the repository specifically for manufacturing or this session, but yeah, I'm sure if you search it, you'll have plenty. Or if you want me to sometimes show you where you can see the Oracle documents, let me know. I'll try
Yeah,
to.
that I got to know now. I was comfortable initially. I kept on struggling how to get there. So I can help out. I think the other people can. They need to know how to get to the documentation.
Okay.
Sure. And if you want me to show you, yeah, if you want me to show you how to see this guide, I can show you that too. But it's just that I don't have a repository where I maintain all white papers and documents, because if you just search it, I normally get it.
No, not white
So
paper. Some documents, user guide kind of stuff is there.
Okay, but yeah, even if you search for white papers, there are plenty, and I've normally gone over some white papers, you know, by some organizations and all, which are authored and published. So yeah, you'll get both. If you want me to just show you how to search, I can just kind of, you know, do that also sometime for 5-10 minutes.
I got a home cloud. You can show me that on the last day. But anyway, I went to home cloud. I see. But
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but others may need to know.
yeah. And another thing is, you are giving us labs, am I right? With exercises with navigation.
Yeah, to be very honest, I did plan that, but because I didn't get enough time to do a long exhaustive list, so what I did is I just put up a list of items that I think you should practice. And ideally, like you said, I wanted to give a very brief step that where should you go to navigate, because many times it happens that as long as I'm navigating, you're very clear, but once I'm not there, you don't understand where to go.
Right.
So I wanted to, but I'll be honest, I was so pressed with time that I did not do that, but I have a list of what you need to practice.
Okay.
Please,
And
that will be quite helpful, Dipti, please.
yeah, and maybe for tomorrow, if I manage the time, I'm going to just put up a small list of where to go and what to do. However, this today's session is very light practice, and I'm going to see if we can organize that you also get to do it in front of me while we are here in this next 2.5 hours that we have. So not just visual viewing, but even if you can log into the application and view the UI in front of you. So tell me, do you guys, have they shared any username with you to use?
No.
No? Okay. I had requested that earlier itself. And I just sent, during this break, I sent a reminder email if this is done. So because I didn't get a response yet, I thought I'll ask you. Because I do want you guys to open the application on your end. And
she has to send it actually. The access should be given before the training itself.
Okay, so I was not. Okay, sure. But anyways, like I said, I've discussed that even before the start and during this break. So I believe it's on the way.
Okay.
And otherwise, yeah, we'll see how best we
Yeah,
can
you can
organize.
share the user because I already have the access. I still have the access. Yeah.
Oh, you have access to our training instance or to some other instance?
So there are two instances there. One is called the main instance, the other is the backup. I generally go to the backup because the first instance I found very often not working, not available. I generally go to the backup. But then you'll have to tell me, well, if you're giving me a specific user, then I'll have to know which instance that user is in.
Oh, okay, okay. Like I said, I wasn't sure whether you guys already have your usernames with you, because this request I had placed to them earlier this week itself, that I want you guys to have your own users and
No, that is generally on the side they're just given for admin user.
Okay.
And that's what I connect to normally, but it won't be specific in terms of if you're trying to show us some privileges, that it won't be that specific.
Sure, no problem. Let's tackle that, you know, during our thing. Okay, so I am going to share my screen and we will begin. One moment. Okay. Okay. So I hope you guys can see my screen.
No, it's still showing paused.
Or is it?
Yes.
Is it come up now?
No,
No.
No. Oh.
it's still paused. Maybe the.
Yes.
Okay, now it came. Now it came.
Okay, great. So now that we have had an overview of Oracle Manufacturing Cloud, how it is placed in the entire supply chain, Oracle Supply Chain Cloud, we have seen its capabilities and the process flows. Now we will get on to the prerequisite setups for manufacturing, which is also like a part of manufacturing, like how we had defined as the common supply chain setups. We will see that. So the first thing that we do is like after you have your user and user access, the first thing that we would want to do is typically create an organization, the inventory organization, which is a manufacturing plant. But first I will show you, like, these are the things that come under the setups. So today I plan to do the inventory organization, the profile option lookups, plant parameters, and the item setups. These are all for mostly the setups tomorrow. So this is just like a list of setups that are needed to implement manufacturing. So you create a plant, you have a plant parameter setup. If you have any profile options, or if you have special lookups, if you need additional fields, you define them as DFFs, called descriptive flex fields. You have a production calendar, which is associated to your plant. That production calendar takes your shifts into account, and you, for the particular plant, you define the work area, the work center where specific job is done. You have the resources are assigned to a work center. Then how you can have standard operations defined within manufacturing, which are just a repetitive standard job that you have to do. And we will also touch up upon electronic signatures. So a huge chunk of core manufacturing setup is for tomorrow, but let's see, if we have the time, we can even take it today.
So are you going to show us the electronic signature? Is it easy to set up and configure electronic signatures?
Yeah, we will see the setup page, and I haven't tried the electronic setup in this test instance yet. So if we don't have any issues, we will see that also. So tomorrow, like before our session, I do plan to give that a shot if it's working well, because sometimes you have, like, instance issues. But yes, we will see all of that.
Okay.
Okay, and these setups are the item and item attribute setups, which are very critical to a manufacturing implementation. So here, whether you define the item as a finished good, as a final assembly, sub-assembly, phantom, assemble to order, whatever item you define, and all the items that are defined must be approved. All items must be associated to the manufacturing org, which is very common, logical. If the manufacturing plant can't view the item, it can't even build it. We have the structure item type, which is either like a standard for a standard assembly or a standard item, and then model types. This is what we were speaking about, standard item manufacturing and configure item flow. Then from an item standpoint, the build-in WIP flag should be checked. There is also, you can enable, this is again optional choice, the product genealogy tracking, wherein you can track the genealogy for serial and lot items, and then the outside processing attributes. So these are just the attributes to attributes on an item which are critical to manufacturing. Now I will first take you over the UI and show you how first we will just speak for some time about how the Fusion UIs are designed and like how the layout is. Okay.
Before going to that, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Item must be approved. That means you have an item life cycle. Is it correct?
Mm-hmm.
So can you configure what is the item life
Sorry,
cycle?
you're breaking up. Can't hear.
Can you? can you define what is the item approval life cycle?
You can. That is in the product model implementation. In product model, the entire life cycle of product and all that can be defined. So in our demo perspective, we are creating items which are getting approved. They are not part of the item request and approval, but that's possible. Just to have a easy item creation flow, we have like right now not enabled the whole item life cycle and the item approval flow.
So you said that this comes under product model?
Yes,
Which
there's
model?
a product master data. It's called product data management.
Yeah, I did one implementation of product data management. I was thinking that somebody told me that they're going to merge that into inventory in cloud.
No, so product model is a concept in its own. Like remember we saw that diagram where every box was a module in itself, and every module has its own huge set of capabilities. So if this training, since our focus is manufacturing, we will speak about all these integrating modules, but only the relevant stuff to manufacturing in those modules. So of course, when we log into product model, you will see a lot of things which is from a product model implementation, and we can definitely speak about it, of course.
So you're telling that there is another product called product data management, different module.
Yes, and not all, like of course when you're taking manufacturing, you'll have access to that because so how they're designed in cloud. Even the product data model or the product model module is divided into certain submodules, and then again based on your licensing, you have access to certain of those modules and not to some. So of course when you take manufacturing, you do get that product information management. But there are certain things on product modeling and the product life cycle which you will not have the license to it. You have to have a separate license.
Okay.
That is how it is designed here. So like of course when you're taking planning, suppose you're just taking a planning license, you will have access to items because you need to define your items, right? But you will not have maybe access to that data quality module. And I'm just giving an example. I'm not sure what comes. It cannot be taken as a quote, but that is how all the modules within Oracle Cloud, even in finance, even in supply chain, that's how it's designed. So there are certain submodules, and based on your licensing, you get access. Like for example, in purchasing, you may not have access to that iPortal, iSupplier. You may have access to self-services and purchasing, but you may not have license to supplier portal. It's called in cloud supplier portal, but the iSupplier in EBS, I think. So you may not have access to that module unless you decide to license it separately.
Got it. So when we see the module, we'll talk about it. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, sure. So now I'm going to move on to the application instance. And first I will go over just how the UI is laid out. And then we will go into some roles. Then we will create manufacturing plants and the setup visit. Okay, so let me just... Okay, so can you see this browser page where there's an Oracle welcome kind of a page?
Welcome test 6 procurement?
Yes. So, well, test 6 procurement is the name of my user because it's a training user. So this is like a welcome page, and like Dilip, when we were talking about the instance, this is called the instance, the EEVX test instance. So this is a test instance, and the domain is that EEVX. So I'm not sure if you are in this instance or the any other instance, but I'm going to be using this instance during the entire course, for all the 4 days. Okay. Now just to give you an overview.
Give us this test 6 username and password you will be sharing with us. This password of this test 6.
So like I said, now I have requested them to create separate users for you, all you guys, because
Okay.
sometimes when we are sharing the usernames and all of us are doing similar actions, you'll see some weird pop-ups on your screen which can be annoying. So
Yeah,
I
understood.
had requested them to create different users for each of you people, and I've given them a list of roles that they need to assign to those users. However, in this session, we will just go over how to create, where to go and assign roles, because you want to get into implementation where you will be needed to assign roles to different users, assign the data access, and proceed. So, and I'm going to be checking emails also in between, because even during this break, I told them if we have the users and I haven't heard back.
No, definitely we need to have access. Otherwise, if we wanted to sit for another half an hour, 1 hour, and see, the navigation, that will be quite helpful. We need to have that.
Yeah, so actually they did tell me that they are in the process of doing that and they're creating the user, I believe, now. So any of the first few minutes I'm going to spend on explaining to you how the UIs are laid out, so that it's more clear than just telling you, hey, go here and do this. I'll just very briefly I'll just speak about the UI layout. Let's see, in meanwhile, if we get your users, great. Okay, any of us, sometime we have some topics that I need to cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is like the welcome page, and not always will you have the exact page, like this one and this one is like a dashboard somebody has created, but otherwise it is blank. I'll request the participants to go on mute if you're not speaking. I again hear my own echo. Okay, thank you. So, when you log in, again, a lot of things depend on the access that you have, the roles that you have. So you will not be seeing exactly the page that I'm seeing. And that's all because of the access. Mine is like a training user, so it has a lot of access. It has a lot of other modules access, but it's okay. It doesn't bother us. And this also is not typical that you'll see in, suppose you log into your customer instance, because these are user created dashboards that they've put in here. So once you open the instance, we typically go to this home, which is like the home button. And this is like your landing page. So this page is called the Springboard. And these are all the modules or the applications that you have access to. So when you log in with your users, you will not see so many icons. You will only see the icons that you have access to. And mainly I have given you access to manufacturing related things and product management, product information, because we'll be defining our items and all. And yes, as we proceed, if we think we need more access, we'll keep giving in this course. Okay, so this Springboard is where each of your products are laid out. It can be within supply chain or outside supply chain. All the products are typically listed in this Springboard. And this bell icon is for all your notifications. That is when some entity of yours is submitted for approvals, or when something is approved, or something has come to you for your approval. Any action which generates notifications, they go and sit in this bell icon. Okay. Just like an overview, and like I said, TP is the initial for my login user. This is where you can mark your favorites and just flagging any watch list item. And this 3 lines is called the navigator. Navigator is the place again where you will have access to all the applications within this instance. And again, navigator again is nothing but the list of these icons or more. And this is also again role based. So based on your role, you will see more number of options here or less. So in the Fusion instance, there is one place called setup and maintenance. In that setup and maintenance is where we go to do any setup related activity. So today that we are planning to do all our common supply chain setups, we will get into the setup and maintenance task, which is also called as FSM, Functional Setup Manager. So even when you go over some Oracle documents and all, you'll very commonly keep hearing FSM or Functional Setup Manager. That is nothing but this icon, Setup and Maintenance. This icon can also be accessed from the navigator. So once you click on navigator, it says that because I have so many roles, you have to search. Otherwise, because you'll have limited set of roles, you'll be able to instantly spot it. If I don't see it here, I just click on more. It loads. So here, setup and maintenance. You can either click here or on your Springboard, we can click on this. Let me for some time speak about setup and maintenance. So
Deepti, I think a useful thing would also be the top right, the user. Click on the user, there also you see setup and maintenance.
Okay,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, this is a very quick one. The quickest one I find is this one.
Okay, so even you can click on the user name, like the downward arrow beside your user. If you click on that, there is also setup and maintenance here. And this is actually about the application. When you guys were asking me which release this is, okay, it says we are 19B, release 13. So we are on 13. We are very, very much on the latest release, looks like. But I remember my other 19A and B had a different outlook of the UI. Well, that's okay. So, okay, let's go here and click on setup and maintenance. So I'm just seeing a message from that he's finding some issues while creating your users. But yeah, if the need be, we'll share this username password with you guys that you can also log in. So, okay, so what I did is I just went to this downward arrow, I clicked on setup and maintenance, I reached here, and here how it's organized is, these are all the different functional areas within the Oracle Cloud. So we can just click on this arrow, and these are the different setup areas or modules that you can set up. So like order management, procurement, product management. Product management is where we go for our items, supply chain planning. Our key interest for today is in the manufacturing and supply chain material management. So for most of our setups, we will keep going here. So any setup that you want to do in manufacturing, we keep coming here, okay? And in this area, in this module, these are the different functional areas. So functional areas, to be honest, is not...
Dipti, how do you went to the manufacturing? You went to the setup and what is that called? Setup maintenance, FSM. Then...
So click on setup and maintenance, either from your user or here on navigator. You come to setup
management though, their setup. That's the last used one?
No, this is, I think, in the alphabetical order, this is just the first on the list. So something will come up here, it's okay, like based on your roles and all, doesn't matter. All we have to do is, we have to get into the right module that we want to set up. So we can click on this downward arrow, this button, and choose the module that we are setting up for. So for today, we want to go here. I am going to the manufacturing and supply chain material management. Okay.
Did Shekhar join Basha?
I did see a phone number entering. So
Yes,
Basha,
yeah.
are you on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am on.
Great. Okay. So now we have reached the setup module for supply chain material management and manufacturing. These are all the functional areas defined within manufacturing and supply chain material management. To be honest, the functional area is not of our key concern. This is for Oracle's L1 and L2 kind of mapping, but it's not really key to our like our implementations. However, just to know that these are functional areas, and logically you can understand that if you want to define items, you might just click on this, and if you want to define a plant or a unit facility, you just might want to click on this. Logically you just can understand each of these are very self-explanatory functional areas. And however, if you don't know which functional area it falls into, we have this global search kind of thing where you can search for any setup page that you're looking for. We will use a lot of this page today, so don't worry even if you don't get it right now. This is just to give you an introduction to Functional Setup Manager.
Where is the subinventory orgs? This?
Inside this itself it will be. So we can just search here if you want, like, you can search for sub-inventory. So all the setup related to supply chain area and manufacturing will come here. So here, manage inter sub-inventory parameters, and you can just scroll to see if you.
How do you know this is within this? How do you know?
So there's this logical grouping of modules, so you can understand.
This one sub-inventories?
Yeah, sub-inventories comes under like inventory. So it's like, this module is manufacturing and supply chain material management.
Oh, there's a different module. Okay.
Like this is the manufacturing module. So now if I want to search anything related to items, I would just go to product management. Anything related to sales orders and order management. So it's like more logical that you understand and search. And again, so you can just get into order management. Suppose you're not too sure, you're just searching here, and sometimes it will not retrieve anything. You can change your module setup and keep searching, or else there is also a global search here. So in the right side, on all Fusion pages, you will see this right side page-like icon, which gives you all the tasks that can be performed on this page. So this is a common architecture across all the pages in Fusion. So we can click on this icon and go to, so just let me to explain you, this is the global search for this particular module. If we go to this global search, this is across the application. So it will look into finance, HR or something. So if I just search with the word application, wherever the word application comes, it will just pull out the whole list. It could be some application in an HR module. It could be the word application in supply chain module. It will just bring it here. And then you have to, maybe initially it is a bit painful. It is a bit time consuming till you understand where each setup page is and how to search for it. It can seem overwhelming, but just don't worry. It's just going to take you some time to adjust to this UI. And see, when I come back, it again kind of, it goes to a different module. So you have to just pay attention to which module you are, change it to the right module, and then begin your search or setup. Sorry. So one more feature about the.
Is there any documentation to give all these things? The navigation of click here, you go to sub-inventories, you click here, go to plants, locations, like that.
So I'm sure in Oracle you do have certain those user guides which kind of tell you that go to the navigator, setup and maintenance, and go here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they are. I've seen many, and sometimes I do refer to them during my implementations.
So you do user guides? You refer to user guides?
Yeah, of course. I even for certain functionalities, like even if there's new features, we do keep referring to the user guides and the implementation guides.
Okay, then that is really important then. Okay.
Yes. So another thing about FSM is, like, with time and with using the application, you will get an idea of the functional area. So if I click on any functional area, the tasks for this functional area get loaded here. And these are all, if you see, the required tasks. So if I go to this functional area, so these are the required tasks related to items that is like required. And if you just want to see all the tasks which belong to this functional area, you can click on this like filter like option and show all tasks. So it starts showing me all the tasks which fall under the items functional area within the module manufacturing and supply chain material management. Okay. And like items is a shared module because of course items is needed in procurement, in order management, in manufacturing. So they just kind of mark it as shared. But however, these things from an implementation point is not our key. It's not like of a concern. Just I'm kind of explaining you how the UI is organized. So anything, and if I want to define facilities, these are the required tasks that one has to implement for facilities. And then if you want to see all the tasks, which can be certain optional setups and all, you can see like flex fields is always optional and is very individual to every implementation. These are coming under optional. And also Oracle professes that these tasks are sequentially laid. So if you go to facilities implementation, the first thing you have to do is define shifts, then work patterns, then schedule, then organization, and give access to users in that organization. This is what Oracle professes. I am not 100% confident if it is there in every module like that. Of course, we are all functional experts, and I kind of go with the flow that even I feel logical. But this is how it is organized. So when we go to items, of course, it's first mandatory is to create the unit of measure, and then if you have any inter-class and intra-class conversions, you define. And when you do the all tasks, it just gives you the whole list. Okay. Similarly with inventory management. Inventory management is you're creating your inventory org, and also let's see the required tasks. There are no required tasks within inventory management. Okay, however, like I said, functional area is like a logical grouping, but it's not, from an implementation point, it's not too important. We always have a search here and a global search here. Okay, we will use a lot of this setup and this module in our lessons forward. But now let me show you where we create users and roles. So there is a, I can call like an application called Security Console. In the Security Console, you can create new users, you can create new roles, like if you have custom roles to be created in your implementation, anything which has got to do with user roles access can be created in the Security Console. So how to access Security Console? You can go to Navigator. If you're in the setup page, you can directly go here, or if you're comfortable going from the home page, you can keep going back to home page. Again, most icons are on your Springboard and also on your Navigator. So this tools icon inside tools is where the Security Console lies. Here, this is the Security Console that we are interested in. Else, just let's look at the Navigator.
Can you do a small favor to us?
Mm-hmm.
Can you put the favorites on the manufacturing execution system? You will be using certain responsibilities or roles. So can you put them as favorites so that at least we will know what are the things required?
You want me to mark the applications as favorites?
Yeah, all manufacturing roles are.
If you get it so easily through favorites, you will not be able to practice the navigation.
And anyways, I can mark favorite only certain pages. I cannot mark the roles. I cannot mark the functional areas inside that. But we can mark favorite certain pages. We'll see that. And anyways, it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to be lost initially. It's okay to repeatedly ask the same question. So just ask, just explore, just probably search. Okay, and if anytime required, you can keep asking me, multiple times. That's okay. So what I did right now is I'm clicking on Navigator, and now I'm searching for this title called Tools. So like how you have risk management tools, you have subscription management, I'm searching for tools. I don't see it here. I'm just clicking on more, and again scroll. Yeah, so here is tools, and inside tools there are so many tools from Oracle. I am interested right now in the Security Console. earlier too, this page was stuck when I was using it earlier too. So sometimes Oracle applications and pages behave that way, and for no reason actually. Sometimes what I do is I just switch the browser and I see it working fine. To be honest, most of these UI issues I'm facing just very recently, and there'll just be random some UI which wouldn't work in one browser, and you just switch to another browser, it works. From Oracle, the recommended browsers are all Mozilla, Chrome, and Internet, Firefox, all. But yeah, my personal experience is I just switch the browser and it starts working. I'm going to try once again here. If it doesn't work, I'll switch the browser. So see, it's just loading partially. It's not clean. And I'm going to just switch the browser once. I'm going to open in Firefox.
So this application is okay with all kinds of browsers like Chrome, Firefox and all that?
Yes.
Or is it a preferred one, or any browser is okay?
No, any browser is what Oracle supports. Typically, we see most users are comfortable using in Chrome. And to be very honest, I felt a couple of months back, I felt the application worked best in Chrome. But of late, I've been facing a lot of issues even in the Chrome. And then once I switch to IE, it becomes better. But, basically, yeah, this is just my personal experience. Otherwise, yes, you can use any browser. You can use Chrome. That gives you the best user experience. So now I'll show you the same tools and the security console. I don't know why. It'll load better in this Firefox now. And it's not standard. It's not always. Sometimes you'll find even the Chrome behaving perfect. So see, it's instantly loaded. All the icons and everything is well loaded. But in Chrome, for some reason it didn't. And I had this issue even earlier when I was practicing for this presentation. When I just opened the security console, for some reason it didn't open in Chrome. And the moment I switched to Mozilla, it opened well. So this is again, like I said, a very random and a weird behavior, and it's not standard. It may be that you're getting an issue in Mozilla, and once you switch to IE, it starts working. So just if you face some browser issue, feel free to change your browser or just log out and log in or clear your cache. Plus, this is a training instance, so though I haven't not faced much issues in this training instance the last couple of days that I've been using, however, it's very likely. So just you can refresh once again or clear your cache or change the browser. Okay, coming back to the security console. So this is how the security console looks like. We have landed to this, so this is highlighted and the same page name is listed here. We are right now in the roles page. So if you want to search for any role, so roles, a lot of roles, or maybe let me just say most of the roles or all the roles that are required for a typical standard implementation is provided by Oracle. In some implementations, there is a need to create custom roles. So even for those, we come here to create custom roles, or even to view standard roles. If you want to see what that role is, whether that role exists, or if you know the part name of a role, like you just partially know it, you can come here and search with partial characters. So anything to do with roles, you have to come here, and that is roles across the application. It could be finance, HR, projects, any role. All roles for Oracle are lying here.
Can you show the standard
right now
for manufacturing?
So, okay, I'm like a novice user and I'm just coming here. I'm trying to search for a role. I don't know what roles can exist in manufacturing. I'm just going to search with
Dipti.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you show us the standard roles for manufacturing this application? Can you show us what are the different roles and what for they are used?
Yeah, I do plan to cover that going forward. But now, since you asked, I'm also going to show you. If you are a novice user and you don't even know the role name, you can kind of come here. And so right now, this filter criteria tells you, so these are the different kind of roles, job role, duty role, abstract role. Like from Oracle standpoint, the security console is also one implementation on its own. So these are the different kind of roles. I'm not going to get into details of everything now. But if I'm a novice person, I don't even know what roles exist, but I want to search some manufacturing role. And just logically, I'm kind of searching with.
Quick overview of these roles, can you please give us, because that's very important for any implementation. So
Yeah, so
what is
the seeded roles,
Yeah.
the seeded roles I will cover going forward. Right now, I'm trying to show you when you as a new person logs in, how can you search for anything, okay?
Okay.
And the seeded roles from Oracle, what is provided, I will cover that later.
No, different types of roles you showed us. If you can give a quick overview, that will be helpful. Yeah.
You mean on this?
Yeah.
Oh, these are all, again, a concept in itself. Okay, let me just cover it. So job roles are the roles which are required for you to perform the job that you're assigned. So job roles are typically, like in our manufacturing context, it is like a manufacturing engineer who's, an engineer who's responsible for developing or say maintaining some manufacturing processes, right? Who's even responsible for doing some
hello?
setup. Yes.
50. Kashif, this right. Actually, guys, I've pinged you the details for instance to each one of you. Can you please try and log in?
So Kashif, did we create new users for each of them, or they're using some common user, or how is it?
So each of them, I have created each of them.
Oh, okay, great. And were you able to even give the roles?
Yes, I have given the roles also.
Okay, great. So during this demo, we will give them some data access.
Okay, that's fine. So guys, can you confirm if you're able to access and the password, in the password W is capital. If I have mentioned small, please don't use small. W is capital in the password.
So yeah, I'm just going to pause for a minute till each of you try that and confirm back.
So I don't have a link to see that. Will you provide the link, Deepti?
Kashif, what link? Do you need the instance URL?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kashif, did you ping them the instance URL too? I hope it's the same instance.
Yeah. He's given the link instance link.
Okay, anyways, I'll place it in chat. So
Yeah.
all of you can use this.
I have given in the chat to everyone. Yeah.
Okay, I think Bhasha missed it, or he couldn't use it. I've given the instance now on chat, and then each of you could log in with the users which are created for you.
No, I think they gave only one name, right? Everybody, or
Dilip, didn't you receive?
Yeah, I received a trainee SCM 03.
Yeah, you have to use that same. Yeah.
So it's the same user?
same, buddy. It's trainee SCM01 and welcome one.
Yeah, I mentioned username is trainee.scm03 and password is welcome1 for you.
For me, Rao.
For Rao, I have mentioned it's scm01 for you.
Correct. Got it.
And password is welcome1 W capital. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. I got in.
Okay.
Great.
So no capital.
W
No, W
in
is
password W is capital.
Welcome. I'm in.
Okay. What about Sheikh?
I'm trying, Jyoti.
Okay.
Sure, we'll just wait up.
So username must be SCM03, right? Mine is.
Yeah, it's different for each one of you. So whatever I've pinged, it will use that one. Yeah, SCM03 for Dilip.
Zero
Yeah.
three for me. Yeah, I'm using 03.
Yeah, for Dilip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Rao, it's 01.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. SCM02. Welcome 1, right?
Yeah, W caps.
No, still it is failing, you know.
Just a minute. Okay, just try now. I was able to log in with trainee.scm02 and password welcome one with W is capital. Okay, I'm able to log in.
So in Fusion, with one user ID, many people can log in, or it locks it.
It has implemented single sign-on security, but it may be possible you'll be able to log in. But it has a single sign-on feature.
Okay. Now, how long? Because he has come online. Can we check how long we are going to have this access?
It's till the training period. Post completion of the training, it will be for 2 weeks.
So we are having training up to 24th, 26th. So
Yeah, you will be having the access till that time.
26th and 2 more weeks. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Then we will be having access up to June 8th or June 9th.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, can you communicate to all of us, please, that last date of
I'll ask the training team to do that. Yeah. Sheikh, are you able to log in now?
Still, I'm not able to log in, you know.
Okay, can you share your screen if I give you the presenter rights?
Okay.